and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking all about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. This is season 6, episode 7, and the title of this episode is Troubled Waters. In this video, we're going to be talking all about Mike and Natalie. But before we get started, besties, I need a huge favor from you. I need you to go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, share, subscribe, plus hit that bell so you will be notified on future uploads. This episode here with these two was very, I would say, highly anticipated for me. Like a lot of people, I feel like in her situation, they go into relationships where they have a straight up monster-in-law who gives them a hard time. And I feel like in this case, a lot of people bite their tongues. They won't say one thing. I feel like in this episode, Natalie is like, I'm not gonna take too much of your sly remarks. So I love the way in this episode she kind of like said what she felt, stood up for herself, but in a classy way. She wasn't yelling, she wasn't cussing her out, she wasn't pointing her finger in her face. So I was here for it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into this video talking about these two. Again, go ahead and like this video and share with a friend. Subscribe and hit that bell so you will be notified on future uploads coming out this week. Okay, so the foolery continues. Natalie is outside being Karate Kid, doing stretches with the wood. She has the wood and she's stretching and just doing all this crazy stuff. And Natalie says that she's annoyed with Trish because she feels as though she has been judgmental and looking for the weak sides of her. While stacking wood, Mike's mother says, "Who said this was my job?" And Mike replies, "You signed up for it." And I was rolling when Natalie chimed in and said to Trish, "Who usually does it if it's not your job?" And Trish, she laughs and says that she usually doesn't do it all at once, but she does do it. Natalie goes on to say, "I'm so happy I'm handy for you." These two are shady towards each other. And Trish tells Natalie now she can get exercise on the hacienda, which I had to look up and learn that it is a large ranch, especially in a Spanish-speaking country. Not sure why she used that because she's not Spanish. So I would just say on the farm. Anyway, Natalie comes back at Trish saying, "I thought you wanted me to be an interpreter, but now you want me to be a wood stacker," or something along those lines. Trish is still trying to tell Natalie what she should do and making suggestions. I guess Natalie didn't shut her up for good the first time when she read her rights. Now, moving on into another scene, it's time for them to start cooking dinner for Thanksgiving. And Natalie is making a traditional Ukrainian dish, which is like, I think, a form of soup, some type of soup. And she's like, "Where are the ingredients that we bought yesterday?" So Mike is pulling things out of the fridge and handing her random things, telling her that she can just cook with this and that to make her dish. But she's not having it. So Natalie's like, I don't know what this is. I've never cooked with it. I can't cook with this. So at some point they show a scene where it's just Natalie and Trish in the kitchen. And as soon as Mike comes in there, Natalie's like, "It's too many people in the kitchen. Mike, can you leave, please?" Mike is all up on her. And then Natalie is like, "Don't touch my behind. Don't touch my kitty." I don't know. This name should have been named Kitty Cat or Purr, because all these couples were talking about that. And it's like, it's just too much. Can y'all keep y'all intimate details and the things, how y'all like to get down and dirty between y'all? We don't really care. Us as the viewers could care less. But she's telling him, she doesn't like when he does that while she's in the kitchen cooking because she feels that it's nasty. And this conversation makes Mike's mom uncomfortable, which I'm sure it'd make any parent uncomfortable. So she tells her son to go and start the fire pit. Now, Natalie's still going on and on about how she doesn't like him touching her kitty while she's in the kitchen cooking, and his mom starts talking over her and trying to change the subject. I thought that part was hilarious because Trish was uncomfortable, and the poor dog, he looked like he just wants out of that house too. He wants to get up out of there. I feel so bad for that poor dog. So Mike sickens me because the only time he's excited about his wife is when he wants some. Then he goes back to showing no emotion, acting like they don't have issues, and allowing his mom to get away with addressing his wife on matters that she should be minding her own business on. Comment down below your thoughts. Now, moving on, you know that Trish sent Mike outside. And when he does come back into the house, while in the kitchen, Natalie tells him that his mother called her a hooker. And he instantly says, no, she didn't. Not even being there, not even for sure. He just says, no, she didn't. Now, Trish, her roommate, joins after all the food has been cooked. So Trish is too old, I feel like, to be game playing. She tells Natalie to rinse a cup that has cornstarch in it. So Natalie does that and then hands it back to her. She doesn't say rinse the cup and then put it in the sink for me. She says, can you rinse this or rinse this? So when Natalie hands it back to her, she's like, rinse it and put it back in the sink, Natalie. Thank you. Like, it's the way she's talking to her. And I'm like, you wouldn't be talking to me like that. So Mike sits there while this is going on his phone, probably texting another woman, while his mother and wife have all this tension towards one another. Natalie starts hysterically laughing and says that she's laughing like that because she doesn't have to prove anything to Trish. Now, Trish at the dinner table says to Natalie, so where are you at with the baby thing? Because you're kind of getting up there. She is really out of line. She is really out of line. That is very disrespectful to ask a woman that, not knowing what she may have going on medically. You never do that. You never do something like that. She knows that that is very rude and disrespectful. I wouldn't have been there as long as Natalie was, seeing as she felt so disrespected by Trish. The whole time Trish is talking, Natalie says nothing. And Mike, of course, says, oh, I would love to get started at having some babies. I would love to start having some kids. Now, in this scene, the tension was thick at the table, and I loved every bit of it. Yes, I did. I loved every bit of it. I know Natalie isn't perfect, but I love the fact that she didn't back down. She tells Trish that she doesn't want to raise a baby in stress because she wants to be capable of feeding her baby. Then she goes on to say, you know, you're a single mom. I love the way that Natalie threw that back at her. Now, Natalie is not done there. She's like, I think in this country, both parents have to work, and had Trish on mute. On mute. Because all this time you've been throwing at her that you feel like she needs to be an interpreter. She needs to get a job. It's not fair. She needs to be working and doing this and that to provide for the household or to contribute to the household. But now you want to know if she's having grandbabies. And I really think that question that she's posing to Natalie is really just being funny. She knows that their relationship is too damaged, too fragile to even be considering bringing kids into this toxic situation. With all this tension, why would they even be thinking about having a baby or bringing a baby into the equation? So I do believe that she's trying to be funny, but I do love Natalie's responses. And I would hope that for any woman in a situation where, you know, they are being disrespected and the mom is showing, or the mother-in-law is showing, that they do not like that young lady, I would hope that that person is sticking up for themselves. And you don't have to cuss a person out. You don't have to roll your neck and do all of that. No. But I am going to put you in your place, and you're either going to be cordial and be respectful, or I can't even be around you. And that's why it goes back to me always saying, I don't even understand why Natalie went on this trip, because you already have the tension from the fact that Natalie knows that she tried to stop the wedding. So they didn't even work through that. And then you're trying to play phony like nothing happened, but that's kind of hard. I can maybe say to you, oh yeah, I moved past it, I'm not tripping on it, but my actions show something totally different. And I think that's the case with Natalie. Natalie said, you know, I'm trying and I'm going to do family activities and this and that. But her actions, the neck swerving and her responses show that she is not over it, because they have not dealt with the situation. They have not talked about it. Everybody's brushing it under the rug. And if Mike really cared about the relationship between his mom and wife, he would be trying to initiate that conversation. But he's not doing it. He feels that Natalie needs to step up and do it, but it's his mama. So it's just a lot going on. Like I said, I really don't feel like these two, they weren't meant from jump to be with each other. It is just so many lines have been crossed on both sides. Things that Natalie has said to Mike and things that Mike is saying to Natalie or allowing. At this point, I'm really convinced that it's just more or less like a business transaction. You know, he's looking at it as a way of, I'll get on another season, get me a coin, help pay towards some bills and some debt that I have, and that be that. And Natalie, she wants to be there so that she can pursue her career. I don't really think there's any love there, but I'm very curious to know your thoughts all about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Season 6, Episode 7. Again, this title was Troubled Waters. We talked all about Mike and Natalie. I'm very curious to know what you thought in that comment section down below. If you haven't already, give this video a big thumbs up, share, subscribe, plus hit that bell so you will be notified on all future uploads coming from me. I look forward to talking to you in that comment section and also seeing you in future uploads coming out this week. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.